The Johnson Falcons, they have the ball on their own 35-yard line. Coming into the ballgame now, Wayne Anderson and Chuck Edwards going out, Rich DeLeo. And they better get somebody else out of there. I think they've got too many men. Now they're calling timeout. Johnson calls timeout on the field. They were set for a punting situation, Bill, and got a little confusion there of how many men they got on the field.
Well, Narimasu was able to hold Johnson on that drive, though. Of course, that 5 yards. Penalty also helped. So Johnson now forced into a punting situation. 4th and about 5.
Excuse me, Bill. 2 men back to receive the punt for Narimasu. Steve Walker, their regular quarterback for most of the year, and Odie Tiger. Back to check. Ken Boggs. 10:19 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Johnson Falcons leading here 20-6 over Narimasu. Boggs in front formation, waiting for the snap. There it is. Kick away, almost blocked. A good rush by Narimasu. Comes off his foot and out of bounds on about the 45-yard line of Narimasu. Boggs really had a rush put on him there by the Narimasu defensive line. And a bad kick didn't go too far off his foot and out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 for Narimasu on about their own 44-yard line. And how far did that punt travel there, Bill?
Only about 20 yards, Bill. It's lateral. I do see a flag down on the field. I'm trying to see now what it is. Maybe the referee just dropped it, I think. Bob Bever just dropped the flag out of his pocket. There's no penalty call. But 20 yards on the kick off the side of his foot and out of bounds with no run back. So Narimasu has the ball now. 1st and 10 the ball on their own 45-yard line.
Bernie Vanderson, the quarterback, brings his team up, calling signals. Andy Sweat, split left. Hand off Odie Tiger, the fullback, coming across the 50-yard line and into Johnson territory, up to about the 48. A gain of 7 yards on the play. The tackle made there by Wayne Anderson, defensive halfback, and also Chuck Edwards in there on the tackle for Johnson. Those guys playing both ways for Johnson, as are a number of players on Johnson's team and also for Narimasu. So it'll be 2nd down. Call it 2 yards to go, 3 yards to go on that fine run by Odie Tiger. For Narimasu, they're across the 50-yard line into Johnson territory on the 48. Split ends to the left, Andy Sweat, and to the right. 3 setbacks. Vanderson fading back, looking for a receiver, rolling to his right. He's excited to run. He comes across the 50 to 45, and there he's set by 3 Johnson tacklers. A gain of 3 yards. That should be good enough for the 1st down. Art Lem in there on the tackle, Mark Moretz and Chuck Edwards, all 3 for the Johnson Falcons. It is 1st down for Narimasu. The ball on the 45-yard line of Johnson. And with just 9 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this ballgame, Narimasu has got the score and score quickly, Bill. Narimasu in the huddle right now. Vanderson calling the play. Brings his team out of the huddle. Odie Tiger, split right. Andy Split, split left. 2 setbacks. Kamashima and Kaczynski. Vanderson calling the signal. Looking for a receiver. Fading back. Looking to his left. Pass out there intended for Steve Kamashima. A fine defensive play by Mike Jarvis over there for Johnson. Breaking that play up. The ball was intended for Kamashima on about the 40-yard line. So it'll bring that ball back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Narimasu. Good defensive play by Mike Jarvis, who plays offensive end also for the Falcons. Coming out of the ball game right now, Steve Morton for Narimasu. Kerry Quirin went in to replace him at tackle for the Dragons. It'll be 2nd and 10. The ball resting on the 45 of Johnson. Odie Tiger again, split right. Andy Sweat, split left. 2 setbacks. Quarterback Vanderson. Fading back, looking for a receiver, pitching over the middle quickly. It's complete to the right end. And down across the 35-yard line to the 33. Ron Montgomery caught that pass from Vanderson. Gain of 11 yards on the play. Should be good for another 1st down. Wayne Anderson, Chuck Edwards in on the tackle for the Johnson Falcons. It is a 1st down for Narimasu. The ball on the 33-yard line of Johnson, beginning to move again, and they've got to score here quickly to get back in the ball game. Narimasu in their huddle right now. Quarterback Bernie Vanderson calling signals. He's been the quarterback all the way today for the Dragons. They break out of the huddle. Odie Tiger split end to the right. Andy Sweat to the left. Kaczynski and Samashima the step back. There's the snap. Hands off to Samashima over left tackle. He gets 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. Down to about the 31-yard line. Making the tackle in there for Johnson, number 86, Bob Goodman, along with a couple of other Johnson players. A gain of 3 yards on the play. That'll be 2nd and 7 for Narimasu. The ball resting just over the 30-yard line of Johnson. Steve Samashima carrying from his left halfback spot for the Dragons. 2nd down, 7 yards to go from Narimasu. They're behind 20-6 in the ball game. Once again, split ends to the right and left, 2 setbacks. Bernie Vanderson, the quarterback, calling signals. Fading back to throw, looking for a receiver, looking to his left. Out to Kaczynski in the left side. He's coming across the center of the field, across the 20-yard line, down to the 18. A fine screen pass over to Al Krasinski. He gets across the 20-yard line, down to the 18-yard line. The tackle on the play, Wade Jarvis and John Boland for Johnson. Gain on the play of 12 yards. Fine screen pass from Vanderson to Krasinski. So it's 1st and 10 for Narimasu inside the 20-yard line of Johnson. Call it the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Andy split left. Odie Tigers split right, 2 sets back. The quarterback Vanderson over the ball, calling signal. Pitch out to Steve Tomasino coming around the right end and cross down to the 15-yard line. And there he's met by 2 Johnson players, Wayne Anderson and Wade Jarvis. So gain of 6 yards on the play. That pitch out to Steve Tomasino. Tomasino moves the ball down to the 12-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and call it 5 yards to go for Narimasu. They're threatening now here with just 7:03 remaining in the ball game. They're behind the Johnson 20-6, but they're on the move now. Andy Swift, Odie Tigers, split left and right, 2 sent back. Quarterback Vanderson looking for a quick pass across the middle. It's complete, and then the ball falls away. The ball intended for Ron Montgomery. We thought he had it. Defending on the play and hitting Montgomery very hard for Johnson, Wayne Anderson. So an incompleted forward pass on that quick jump pass from Vanderson to Montgomery. That'll make it 3rd down and still 5 yards to go. The ball on the 12-yard line of the Johnson Falcons. Narimasu threatening here in the 4th quarter. They break out of the huddle. The Dragons come out. Tiger to the right. Sweat to the left. Krasinski and Samashima, the step back. Vanderson calling signal. Keeper over left guard. He may be across the 10-yard line. Possibly a gain of 2 yards on the play, and that keeper by Bertie Vanderson. No more. Met on the play by Ron Camacho and Ken Boggs. So that'll make it 4th down and still call it 3.5 to 4 yards to go for Narimasu. The ball on about the 10-yard line of the Johnson Falcons. And it's now or never, really, Bill.
They're going to have to go in, Bill. They're taking timeout. Narimasu with a timeout now. They got to score on this drive. There's less than 7 minutes to be played here in the ball game on the scoreboard clock. Now the quarterback, Bertie Vanderson, over getting some instructions from the Dragon coach, John Ceramic, who got the plays going back into the game now. Narimasu is going to have to go in with this ball this time, Bill. They can't afford it. It's the big play, perhaps one of the bigger plays of the ball game here this afternoon. Narimasu has the ball. 4th down, about 3.5 yards to go on the Falcon 10-yard line.
Mike Jarvis over on the sidelines conferring with his coach Bob Foster defensively for Johnson. He comes back out of the field now. So it'll be 4th down. Call it 4 yards to go for Narimasu. They have the ball on the Johnson 10-yard line. They must get a 1st down now to keep this drive going. And to be very honest, keep their hopes alive to win this ball game. A little confusion on the lineup. There we have the 3 backs all lined up in a row over right tackle. Over the middle, pass complete. Pass complete to Andy Swift. Bernie Vanderson faded back, just jumped straight ahead. Referee signal. It should be good enough for a 1st down. We're waiting for the signal. It is 1st down, 10 yards to go for Narimasu. The ball resting just outside of the goal line, on the 1-yard line. The quarterback, Bernie Vanderson, jumped straight up. He had 4 backs lined up over right tackle, jumped straight up, and did Andy Sweat coming across from his left-hand spot. 1st and 10 on the 1. The hand up to the halfback, going over left tackle. I don't think he made it. A number of Johnson players hitting him first. Steve Tomasino carrying on the ball. The initial tackle by Ken Boggs. Ken Blevins also in there for Johnson on the tackle. So it'll be 2nd down, goal to go. The ball resting less than 1 yard to go from Narimasu. Call it the Johnson 1-yard line. 5:53 remaining in our ball game. The Johnson Falcons have the lead, 20-6. Split ends to the left and right. Vanderson calls the signal. Keeper straight ahead. It's good. Touchdown, Narimasu. Quarterback Bernie Vanderson keeping over left guard. Got a fine block from the center and the left guard to score. And they score in the ball game. 20-12 right now. 5:41 remaining. And we have a conversion coming up. So Narimasu really, Bill, is still in this ball game. If they can score the conversion here and recover that ball.
They're very much in the game, Bill. Very much in the game. They trail right now by 8 points. They'll be going for the 3-point on the conversion. Here they come.
Going for the 2-point conversion. There's the snapback. Vanderson keeping over left tackle. I don't think he made it. No, he didn't. Conversion no good. So the score remains 20-12 in favor of Johnson. 5:36 remaining here at Marshall Field in the fourth quarter of this ball game. Narimasu comes back. They're in the ball game again, Bill.
Well, that they are, Bill. They took that ball on their own 45-yard line after receiving a punt from the Falcons. They drove bound with a couple of key pass plays, one to Montgomery, one to Sweat to set the ball up at about the 1-foot line. And from there, Bernie Vanderson, the quarterback, took it over for the 6 points. The try, no good for the extra point. And so with 5.5 minutes left to be played here in our ball game, that score now reads the Johnson Falcons 20 and the Narimasu Dragons 12. The Dragons will be kicking off now. Seeing the ball up on the tee out there is Morton. He'll be doing the kicking. Big man, number 71, plays tackle. Both players are offense and defense. And does the kicking off shores for the Narimasu Dragons.
Back to receive for Johnson. Roy Bass. Van Johnson. Steve Morton ready to kick for Narimasu. There's the throw. Low end-over-end kick going long. Roy Bass has it on about his 10-yard line. Coming over to the left side. Johnson in front of him. A number of Narimasu guys coming out. He's still on his feet. Finally down. There's a flag on the play. Dave Eigert made the tackle, and there are a number of flags out there. Could very well be flipping on the play. We'll wait and see. Officials conferring a 15-yard penalty. Oh, wait, we don't know yet. He's running back now. The referee started moving up with the ball, and now he's going the other way, reversing his direction just a bit.
Referee without leverage, a bit confused on that play. He tried to walk off 15 yards against Narimasu. But it was a clipping penalty called against Johnson. The ball spotted down now at the Johnson 10-yard line for its first and 10 for the Falcons. Play back in.
So a break for Narimasu here. The ball on the 10-yard line of Johnson. First and 10. Kaleo, the quarterback. Split ends to the left and right. Pitch out to Van Johnson. He's caught back of the line of scrimmage, and he'll be stopped. The two Narimasu guys in there right away against Johnson. Bernie Vanderson, the quarterback, and also Bill Ford, the defensive captain, in there. A loss of 4 yards on that pitch back to Van Johnson. So they'll make it 2nd and 14, the ball back on about the 6-yard line of Johnson. Narimasu looks like they're fired up, Bill, here. If they can get that ball quickly on defense, give it back to the offense, we could see some fireworks here at Marshall Field. 2nd down, Rich Kaleo, the quarterback, split ends left and right, 2 setbacks, hand off to the fullback, immediately coming straight ahead over right guard, up across the 10-yard line. Ken Box carrying on the play for Johnson. A gain of 3 yards. In there on the tackle for Narimasu, Dave Eigert, and also Bruce Catano. So 3rd down, 11 yards to go for Johnson. They have the ball just inside their own 10-yard line. 3rd down, 10.5 yards to go. Kaleo is the quarterback, calling signals. Hand off the box once again over left tackle. He gets across the 10 up to about the 12. Odie Tigert met him there, and that's not good enough for the 1st down, Bill. That ball will go over to Narimasu. A gain of 5 yards on the play. But still, 4th down and 4 yards to go. For the Johnson Falcons, it'll be a punting situation, back deep. 2 receive for Narimasu, Odie Tigert and Scott Miller.
Just get the name right.
I got it right. Scott Miller, number 31. Ken Box, the punter for Johnson. And I think Johnson may start to worry a little bit here. With 4:14 remaining, there's plenty of time out there, and this Narimasu ball club is fired up. Ken Box, the punter, waiting now, time back in. Team is set. He'll be calling the snap. There it is, snap back to Boggs. Big rush, he gets the kick away. A high end-over-end kick coming up, bouncing on the 40-yard line up to the 50, where Scott Miller takes it. He's still on his feet and finally drops down on about the 48-yard line of Narimasu. Cliff Gilliam in there on the stop, along with Chuck Edwards for Johnson. So it'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Narimasu Dragons. 4:08 remaining. The ball resting on their own 48-yard line. And we could see some real excitement now. We've seen it all day, Bill, and this is a big one now for Narimasu. I think they're fired up. We'll see. Andy Flick coming out of the ball game momentarily, starting split end. And we see a conference out there with the officials are conferring with the Johnson Falcons. There's a flag down on the field. And possibly be a clipping penalty. Wait and see. Referee initially making the motion of a legal procedure on the play, but he's still conferring with the Johnson Falcons.
Well, the flag is stepping it off the 45-yard line, and it's a clipping penalty. It will be brought back to Narimasu 40-yard line, but actually Johnson gained about 6 yards on that by taking the penalty.
unsportsmanlike conduct, the initial signal from the referee on a 15-yard penalty against Narimasu. So they have the ball first and 10 on their own 40.
Looks like maybe some tempers maybe getting hot out there, Bill.
A little bit. 4:06 remaining. Johnson has the lead. 20-12. Narimasu has the ball. Odie Tigers split right. Andy Sweat split left. Two setbacks. Samashima and Kosinski. Anderson fading back, looking for a receiver, throwing long downfield to Tigers. Almost intercepted by Wayne Anderson on the play. Anderson defending along with number 41, Wade Jarvis. The ball was intended for Tigers, but underthrown a little bit. Wayne Anderson almost picked up a very costly interception for Narimasu and a very good interception for Johnson. So it'll be second down, the ball resting on Narimasu, 40-yard line. They're trailing in the ball game 20-12 with just 4 minutes remaining. In the first play from scrimmage, Narimasu trying to throw that bomb from Vanderson to Tigers. They come out of their huddle. Montgomery, split right, Sweat, split left, two step back, and a flanker. Vanderson calling signals, looking quickly for that quick pass. Close finally, he threw for a guard on the play. There was a man out there, Andy Sweat, about 10 yards past where the ball was thrown. He threw, and Mark Fukuhara was there, and I think he was probably the most surprised player in the entire field to see that screen pass coming at him from Vanderson.
See, the Carter hit him even more surprised. It would have cost him 2 yards.
So it'll be third down. We have three defensive players coming in for Johnson. Ron Camacho, Steve Carr, who plays guard offensively, and number 70, Daryl Schweffy, out of the ball game. Rich Petrosky and number 71, Art Lem, among others. Third down. Vanderson fading back, looking for a receiver, throwing long over the middle, intercepted, still believe intercepted by Wayne Anderson. We'll see the call from the officials where they say he got it right. He did. Intercepted by Wayne Anderson on the play. The ball was intended for Odie Tigers. Also covering back to their Wade Jarvis, so it'll be first and 10 for Johnson on their own 35-yard line.
Bill, those underthrown passes like that will cost you, and that one just did. That's the third interception by Johnson of those Narimasu passes. They have the ball now, first and 10.
Big defensive play by Wayne Anderson. Rich Kaleo is the quarterback. He's been all the way in the second half. Hand off the ball straight up the middle, driving over the 40-yard line to the 41. In on the tackle first for Narimasu, Bruce Catano. Number 53 plays a good ball game in there defensively at middle guard and linebacker for Narimasu. So it'll be second down, a gain of 3 yards on the play. Call it second and 7, or second and 6. We'll give them a gain of 4 yards on the play for Ken Boggs. Split end to the left, Mike Jarvis. Kaleo handoff, a pitch back there, and there's a bobble on the play. A loose ball. It looks like Narimasu has recovered. Loose ball, Narimasu has it. They've recovered the ball on the 42-yard line. You can't see who's coming off the bottom of the pile. Bill Ford, the defensive captain for Narimasu, fell on that ball. So they got it right back, Bill. The Dragons have the ball on the Johnson 42-yard line. 3:19 remaining in the ball game. The Johnson Falcons out in front 20-12. And they're calling timeout on the field for Narimasu right now. Timeout on the field. Our score 20-12. Johnson out in front.
I haven't seen a 4-minute warning yet from the officials down there. Bill, the scoreboard clock says 3:19 to play in the game. Narimasu has that ball. They've got it first and 10. They had to get it back, and they did, recovering that fumble. They have the ball on the 46-yard line of Johnson. Narimasu trailing here in the closing minutes of the game. By score 20-12.
Well, I think Bill will just have to go with saying that the clock is unofficial and watch the referees for their signals, as they're keeping the official time down on the field.
This Narimasu team out here, Bill, regardless of the outcome of this ball game, has fought a hard-fought football game against these Falcons this afternoon. An inspired ball game, I might add.
I don't like to guess at the situation, but I do believe that was a 4-minute warning to both benches. Time back in now. Narimasu has it first and 10 on the 42-yard line of Johnson. Setback split into the left. Anderson calling signals. Fading back to throw on the first play. A screen pass out here intended for Alex Kosinski. He fell down on the ball, and the ball was short. Chuck Edwards over there defensively for Johnson. That screen pass has been working well for Narimasu in the second half, but Vanderson underthrew it to Kosinski, and he had fallen anyway, turning, trying to cut over there. Edwards in there defensively for Johnson. So it'll be second 10 on the 42-yard line of the Johnson Falcons for Narimasu. They're trailing the ball game 20-12. They're out of the huddle right now. Andy Sweat, split left. Odie Tiger coming over here as the flanker spot on the right side. Kosinski and Samashima, the setback. Vanderson fading back to throw once again, looking over to his right. He's got Tiger out there. He couldn't quite get to it. A nice pass, just a bit overthrown, intended for Odie Tiger on about the 22-yard line over there defensively. Wayne Anderson and also Wade Jarvis for Johnson.
There goes that number 31 back in the ball game for Narimasu. This could be the clincher.
Scott Miller now in there for the ball game for Narimasu. Steve Carr going out of the ball game for the Johnson Falcons, coming back in number 60 for Johnson. Harold Bonner, or excuse me, Ken Blevins for Johnson. Steve Carr out of the ball game. So 3rd and 10. The ball on the 42 of the Johnson Falcons. Split ends to the right and left. Vanderson calling signal. Fading back to throw once more. Quick pass over the middle. Almost intercepted. Almost intercepted there by Ron Camacho for Johnson. So that pass was Vanderson, intended for one of his split ends. Scott Miller, who's coming out of the ball game right now. So it's 4th down, 10 yards to go, and it is time for Narimasu to pull it off. They definitely have to keep this drive going now, getting late in the ball game. Of course, anything can happen. We've had so many turnovers to the ball here in the second half, Bill.
That's true. Narimasu has fumbled 3 times, and they've had 3 of their passes intercepted, while the Falcons have had 1 interception and 2 all fumbled.
4th down, 10 yards to go. Vanderson calling signals, fading back to throw once again, and he's smothered in there by number 30 on defense for Johnson, Evan Hanks. He just broke in there from his left end position and smothered Vanderson back there. The ball is way back now on the 48-yard line of Johnson, and they take over 1st and 10. So the protection broke down there for the Narimasu Dragons, and quarterback Bernie Vanderson was just snowed under there by Evan Hanks. 1st and 10 for Johnson. We don't know what time is remaining now. The clock is stopped for the moment. Official time being kept on the field. Rich Caleo, the quarterback for Johnson. A keeper straight ahead across the 50-yard line. A forward progress pushed all the way down across the 45. Bernie Vanderson in there on the tackle from Narimasu. A gain of 6 yards for the quarterback, Rich Caleo. And I think Johnson may be playing it straight here, Bill, now, keeping the ball on the ground. They haven't thrown too much in the second half anyway. So 2nd down. Call it 3 yards to go. The ball just across the 45-yard line of Narimasu. Tight T formation. Jarvis split right just a bit. 2 setbacks. Hand off straight ahead to Ken Boggs over the 45-yard line down to about the 42. A gain of 2 yards. Well, call it 3 yards. And the referees are signaling. I think they want a measurement on the play. Yes, they are. One of the referees going over to the sidelines to bring the chains in and go for a measurement to here to see if Jarson has gotten a 1st down. The ball resting on about the 42-yard line of the Narimasu Dragons. They're trailing in the ball game. Our clock over here, the scoreboard clock, says 2:55 about remaining in the ball game. That is unofficial, with the Falcons leading 20-12. Coming out of the ball game right now, also Stinsky for Narimasu. It's short. They measured. It's lacking maybe about 6 inches of being a 1st down for Johnson. So it'll be 3rd down, inches to go for the Falcons. The ball resting just to the right side of the 42-yard line of the Narimasu Dragons. Still at the 42.5-yard line. Time still out here. Referee is talking to some of the Narimasu players. Johnson's team in its huddle. We still have time out. Approximately 2:56, as I said, remaining in the ball game. Coming in for Narimasu, Terry Burns into the ball game defensively. Dave Eigert, who's played a whale of a ball game for the Dragons, coming out. Time still out on the field here. Johnson Falcons leading 20-12 in a very tight and exciting ball game from Marshall Field here at the Grand Heights Family Housing Annex. Time in now. Johnson breaks their huddle. Cliff Gilliam, right end to the right. Jarvis to the left. Tight T formation. Van Johnson, Ken Boggs the setback. Hand off to Johnson. He's stopped. He's not going anywhere. Terry Quarry, who just came in the ball game, made the initial stop for the Narimasu Dragons, along with Odie Tigert in there defensively. He possibly could have made it, could not have made it. We don't know. We'll wait for another official measurement. It's very close. I do think he's made it on this play, Bill.
Well, he was pushing hard, Bill. He had a great second effort. They had him trapped behind the line by about a yard. That second effort put him up to the line of scrimmage perhaps for a few more inches. That's all they needed for the 1st down. Let's watch the measurement.
It is 1st down, Johnson. 1st down on about the 41-yard line of the Narimasu Dragons. So that's a big 1st down for them, Bill.
Well, they needed to keep their drive going, so they have it 1st and 10 now on the Dragon 42-yard line. Johnson the ball, and they're moving.
Ken Boggs, Van Johnson, the setback for the Johnson Falcons. Tight T formation, both ends, very tight at the line of scrimmage. Calling signal, handoff to Johnson, coming across. He's down to about the 38-yard line. He came straight at the left tackle and then cut left. Came across, stumbled, and fell down. 2 players in there defensively for Narimasu. Bill Ford and also Ray Glenn. Gain of 3 yards in the play for Van Johnson to make it 2nd and 7. The ball across the 40-yard line of the Dragons into about the 38-yard line, 37.5. So that same tight T formation for the Falcons now. Johnson and Boggs the setback. Hand off to Johnson once again. A big hole over left tackle across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. Odie Tiger making the stop for the Dragons. So big gain again. That Falcon line is opening up the big holes there on the left side. Gain of 6 yards for Van Johnson. Call it 3rd and 1. The ball resting on the 33 of Narimasu. Mike Jarvis over on the right side as a slot back. 2 setbacks. Kaleo, handoff straight ahead to Boggs. He's got the first down, powering his way across the 30-yard line down to about the 27-yard line of Narimasu. In there defensively, Odie Tigert and also Ray Glenn. Gain of 4 yards to the big fullback, Ken Boggs of Johnson. First down, 10 yards to go. And they're moving the ball on the ground. The time running out in this ball game.
That's a very important factor right now. They're less than 2 minutes showing on the scoreboard clock. Narimasu setting in the game by 8 points.
Now they open the formation a little bit. Kaleo keeps it over center. He gets down across the 25-yard line to maybe the 24-yard line. They had a split end to the left side. They'd open up their T formation a little bit. The tackle, Steve Gibson, in there for Narimasu. Coming out of the ball game right now, Terry Quern on defense for Narimasu. Going into the ball game, a new man, number 63, Bruce Ford, the brother of Bill Ford, the defensive captain. Split into the right, Mike Jarvis. Kaleo calling signals, 2 setbacks, and there we have contact on a loose ball. We don't know if Johnson drew the man across or what. Offsides on one of the 2 teams with contact. Flags all over the place. We'll wait for the initial indication. Referees conferring with the Johnson Falcons. It's against Narimasu, 5 yards. Referee giving the illegal procedure penalty against Narimasu. That moves the ball back down to about the 21-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 1 for Johnson. Less than 2 minutes to play here at Marshall Field. They're leading the ball game, 20-12. Cliff Gilliam split right. Mike Jarvis inside the slot back left. 2 setbacks. Kaleo, the quarterback. Hand off the box. Coming around the left side. He's across the 20 down to about the 15-yard line. Ray Glenn making the tackle there. Ken Boggs moves well for a big man, you know, Bill.
Yes, he does. He rambles.
We have a man hurt on the play for Narimasu, so we can't see his number. It's Ray Glenn who made the tackle. He's bouncing back up now. He's okay. No, it wasn't Ray Glenn. That was Bill Ford, number 62, the defensive captain who was hurt on the play. Ray Glenn just came out of the ball game for Narimasu. Call it 1:15 on our unofficial scoreboard clock left in the ball game. Johnson breaks their huddle once again. Rich Kaleo, who's called the signals most of the second half of the Johnson Falcons, breaks his team. Now we're waiting for the officials to bring time back in. Conferring with some of the players from Johnson. Time in now. Mike Jarvis, split right. Johnson and Boggs the step back. Kaleo the quarterback. There's the snap. Hand off to Boggs over right tackle. He gets down to about inside the 15-yard line. Down to about the 12, 13-yard line. Boggs again banging across right tackle. A gain of 5 yards on the play for Johnson. Timeout once again on the Johnson Falcons.
The ball resting right now on the Narimasu 9-yard line. 2nd down and 5. And Johnson in his drive decided on their own 48-yard line. Has grounded out on the ground again with runs by Boggs and Van Johnson. And it just round out not only the yardage, but the time, which is even more of an important factor right now. 1 minute and 10 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Johnson leading Narimasu by a score of 20-12. Johnson with the timeout to stop that clock. They want to go in for another score.
Rich Kaleo was over conferring with head coach Bob Foster. He's back now calling the play in the huddle. Johnson breaks their huddle. Mike Jarvis split out to the right side. Cliff Gilliam the left end. Johnson and Boggs the setback. Kaleo the quarterback. He's calling signals. Pitch out to Van Johnson coming around the right side looking for blocking. He's not going too far. Maybe up to the line of scrimmage. Possibly a gain of 1 yard. I think we do have the gun.
That was the gun, Bill. The game is over.
The game is over. Well, it's been a surprise all the way today. Our scoreboard clock was showing still 55 seconds remaining in the ballgame, but the ballgame is over. The Johnson Falcons remain undefeated as they beat the fine Narimasu Dragon team here today, 20-12. And Bill, that does set up a big battle next week at the Johnson Family Housing Annex between the Johnson Falcons and the Chofu Vikings. We don't know what happened to Chofu today, whether they won or lost. they were undefeated going into the ballgame.
That's true, and of course we'll be right on hand to bring you all the play-by-play action of that game next week.
I don't know what I was really saying there because Chofu was sitting here watching the game today. They have a stand-by today.
So anyway, next week it will be the very same Victoria Johnson team undefeated in 4 games. Now with a 4-0 record going against Chofu, who had the bye. We're here scouting Johnson themselves today for a record of 3 wins and no losses. On the scoring, Johnson struck first in the first quarter, and they recovered a fumble at the Narimasu 14-yard line, grounded out up until the 3-yard line, where Van Johnson carried it over from 3 yards out for the TD and the 6 points. The try for the extra point was no good. In the second quarter of play, Narimasu tried to score when they took the ball on their own 30-yard line. After 2 penalties of 15 yards each against Johnson, moved the ball inside Falcon territory. A beautiful 28-yard pass from Vanderpump to Sweat set the TD up, with Tiger taking it in from 2 yards out. The try was no good for the extra point. That tied the score at 6-6 at halftime. In the third quarter of play, Johnson moved out in front this time to stay. They took the ball on the Narimasu 35-yard line. Just grounded out by 3- and 4-yard chunks until they moved the ball to the 1-yard line. Kaleo taking it over from there for the TD. Boggs in for the extra 2 points. At that point, they led in the ball game by a score of 14-6. And then in the final quarter of play, again, Johnson scoring by taking the ball on a fumble recovery at the Narimasu 21-yard line. Johnson in for the TD from 3 yards out to try no good. That made the score 20-6. And then Narimasu came roaring back, taking the ball from their own 45-yard line. A couple of beautiful pass plays, setting the pitch down up. Vanderpump finally carrying the ball in from 1 foot out. The try for the extra point, no good. And that's how the game ended right there. Johnson 20, Narimasu 12, and an exciting ball game nonetheless. For the Victoria Johnson Falcons, they racked up 20 points on the scoreboard. 11 first downs. They rushed for 183 yards, attempted 7 passes, completed 2, had 1 intercepted, yardage on the passes for 34 yards. They fumbled 3 times, lost 2, 106 times for an average of 35 yards, were penalized 75 yards in the game. For Narimasu, of course, these statistics are unofficial. Check your stars and stripes for official stats. For Narimasu, they scored 12 points. They had 12 first downs. They rushed for 23 yards. They attempted, and get this, 29 passes, completed 11, had 3 intercepted. They passed for 173 yards. They fumbled 3 times, lost all 3, punted 5 times for an average of 28 yards, and they were penalized 4 times a game for an average of 40 yards. So that's the way it stands right there. The final score in our ball game, Johnson 20, Narimasu 12. Now, on behalf of our entire broadcasting crew, Navy journalist Bill Baldwin, Air Force Sergeant Bill Asher, and Air Force Sergeant, our engineer, Al Cunningham. This is Air Force Sergeant Bill Miller saying, good sports, you good sports. That final score, Johnson 20, Narimasu 12.
We'll have more sports at 6 tonight on Weekend Report. We now join Bobby Troops' Jazz Time in progress. I could talk so much more about Billy Strayhorn. You notice how much the parallel is when it points out between Ellington and Strayhorn's piano, for example. They sound very much alike. You begin to wonder where one starts and the other ends. A very close relationship. We could spend many minutes talking about that, but I want you to hear as many of the albums, or rather as many of the tracks on this album as possible. So let's go right to the Duke Ellington song played by Billy Strayhorn. This is Walnut Colored Blue.